The heated voices of a woman and a man fill the air as Aris argues with his partner. She accuses him of dishonesty. Her frustration is evident as she tells him he has lied too much. Aris offers an apology, but she dismisses it, turning away in disappointment. In a sudden shift, it's revealed that this emotional exchange is merely an exercise in an acting class. The teacher comments on the exercise, noting how effectively the tension and raw emotion played out. Later, Aris enters a cafe and places an order, but when he goes to pay, he realizes he does not have any cash. A man working at the cafe offers to pay for his coffee. This is Richard. They both start talking casually, but a mutual attraction is evident. Aris mentions that he is Greek, studies acting, and works as an occupational therapist at a hospital. Richard mentions that he works in finance. The flirting continues, and later, they both end up having sex in an apartment. When they wake up, they kiss with a mix of tenderness and passion. On the other side of the city, a dedicated woman, Anna, prepares breakfast for her daughter, May, before she leaves for work. Carrying the food to the table, Anna gets dizzy and trips. The plate falls to the floor, breaking with a crash. Anna says she's fine, but a few seconds later, she is forced to sit down to compose herself. Back with Aris, she's in her apartment looking for flight tickets. She quickly prepares the meal and her boyfriend, Leet, arrives. They greet each other distantly and coldly. Many words are exchanged before the palpable tension in the air explodes into an argument. Daily life goes on. Anna goes to work, coordinating a fashion photo shoot. Aris goes to the hospital as an occupational therapist, seeing patients to help them with muscle recovery and other procedures. Aris and Richard meet again at a restaurant for a romantic date where love and attraction are evident. This is contrasted with another dinner Aris and Leet have, where tension and conflict dominate, resulting in a breakup of their relationship. Meanwhile, Anna meets up with a friend, Sandra, and they swim together. However, while swimming, Anna suddenly falls unconscious and nearly drowns, but is saved just in time. Later, at the hospital, Sandra meets Richard, Anna's husband, and explains to him what happened in the incident and that it is not known what caused it. It is revealed that Anna was pregnant and that she lost the baby. Richard is devastated by the news. After her recovery, Anna returns home with Richard, but their relationship is strained. They argue because Richard has been so absent, which Anna is uncomfortable with. Richard apologizes and tells her that he has to go on a trip to New York for work. They part on bad terms. Aris returns to his acting class, where he rehearses another scene of a couple fighting over insensitivity and lack of trust. Anna picks up May from school. In the car, she sees a text from Richard and learns that he is being unfaithful as Richard's text is addressed to Aris and tells him that he can't wait to see him that night. Meanwhile, Richard and Aris have a romantic dinner together. Aris invites him to Greece to visit his family, and Richard tells her he will consider it. Anna cries uncontrollably upon learning of her husband's lies. Her friend Sandra calls her and tells her the situation. Anna has decided to break up her marriage and kick Richard out of the house. Not having learned of the situation, Richard and Aris have passionate sex in the kitchen. Richard tells her he will not be able to go on his trip to Greece due to work, but suggests they go to Budapest later. In the middle of a work presentation to clients, Anna suddenly faints and falls to the floor. This leaves Anna unconscious in intensive care at a hospital. The doctor meets with Sandra and explains the situation. Anna suffers from Guillain-Barré syndrome, a rare autoimmune disease in which the immune system attacks healthy nerve cells. It is a delicate disease with severe consequences and arduous recovery that can lead to total paralysis. Richard, affected, arrives at the hospital with flowers to visit Anna, but the receptionist does not let him in, telling him that only people on a list written by Anna are allowed to enter, and he is not on it. Richard, frustrated, leaves the flowers and leaves the hospital. In another part of the city, Aris and Leet say goodbye. Leet takes his belongings out of the apartment he shared with Aris. Although Seat insists they should try fixing the relationship, Aris refuses. In the hospital, Anna wakes up to realize that she is now wholly paralyzed. She can't move a single muscle. The only thing she can do is open and close her eyes. Aris, who works at the same hospital where Anna is, enters Anna's room and explains to her that he will help her recover. He begins by creating a system so that they can communicate, in which they establish that to say yes, she has to blink once and twice to say no. Aris asks the questions and Anna answers him. Meanwhile, Richard resignedly takes his belongings out of Anna's house. Little by little, Aris continues Anna's muscle treatment, helping her to recover slowly. One afternoon, Aris meets with Sandra to talk about Anna's situation. Aris explains that Anna is slowly recovering and they discuss a treatment plan. Sandra tells him about what Anna likes to do and that Anna was fired from work, but that it would be better not to say to her. They also talk about the best situation for May, Anna's daughter, and decide that she will stay with Sandra and her partner while Anna recovers. May visits her mother, and they talk with Aris's help. May tells her she loves her, and Aris tells Anna to blink 3 times if you love May more than anything in the world. Anna blinks 3 times, affirming the love they have for each other. Anna's treatment continues, and little by little, her condition improves as she slowly regains mobility. Richard, upset that he is not allowed to see his wife, tries to force his way into the hospital to visit Anna, but the staff prevents him from doing so. On the way out, he happens to meet Aris. They talk tenderly and kiss. At that moment, Sandra passes by and is surprised to see them. Aris tells the other doctors that Anna's condition is progressing faster than expected. Through Aris' treatments, Anna starts saying some words, although not without difficulty. Aris and Anna strengthen their relationship. They connect and become intimate. Anna tells him that she misses her daughter very much. Aris consoles her by telling her that if she continues working at this pace, she might be able to recover fully and that he will help her. Meanwhile, Richard and Aris' relationship is moving forward steadily. They go to a museum together and then walk through the streets of London. Aris helps Richard with the move and the decoration of his new house. Richard tells her he doesn't want to continue living in the past and his previous relationships. They kiss passionately. And although Anna has a slight relapse in which she is found on the floor next to the stretcher, she improves more and more every day. The moment comes when she can stand up with the help of Aris and other therapists, a decisive step in her recovery to normality. During this time, Richard improves his relationship with his daughter May, reconnecting with her, taking care of her, and making up for lost time. May is staying at Sandra and her partner's house, and they see Richard's effort and change. Back at the hospital, Aris meets with Sandra to give her some good news about Anna. In 3 weeks, Anna will be able to leave intensive care and return home, just in time to spend Christmas with her daughter. To have everything in order for that time, Aris asks Sandra to go to Anna's house to check on her condition and whether it is suitable for her. Sandra, happy with the news, says yes. A little later, Sandra visits Anna. They celebrate the good news and then tell her Richard wants to see her. Anna is reluctant, but Sandra advises her to give him another chance. The day of Aris's visit to Anna's house arrives. In the conversation, Sandra mentions to Aris that Anna's husband's name is Richard, which intrigues Aris. A few minutes later, curious about the new information, Aris finds a photo of the 3 of them, Anna, Richard, and May, and realizes the background of the situation. Richard is married to none other than Anna, his patient, and the reason they broke up is because she was unfaithful with him. Upon learning all this, Aris goes into shock and excuses himself to Sandra to quickly leave Anna's house. On the street, Aris breaks down and begins to cry, significantly affected by the revelation of who Richard is. He begins to think about what is appropriate for the situation. On the last day at the hospital, Anna prepares to return home. Aris enters and thinks about whether to tell her what he has just found out. Although he seems determined to tell her for a moment, he decides to remain silent because Anna is already very nervous about returning home. She knows that nothing will ever be the same again. Anna thanks Aris for all the help he has given her, telling him that she would not have been able to recover without his help. Knowing that Richard is her husband, Aris finds it challenging to receive thanks. When Anna returns home, she is reunited with her daughter in a warm and hopeful moment. Days later, Anna celebrates Christmas not only with May but also with her husband. Richard asks her to come back and tells her that they cannot throw everything that they have built into the trash. But Anna refuses and tells him that it was he who threw everything into the trash by being unfaithful and telling her lies. After the argument, she throws him out of the house. Before leaving, Richard apologizes and promises to remedy his actions. Anna remains reluctant. Aris, conflicted and a little desperate, tries to call Richard to communicate with him, but Richard does not answer. New Year's arrives and Anna and Richard go to dinner together at a restaurant. Anna thanks him for all the help he gave her throughout her recovery. During the conversation, Anna flirts with Aris, touching his arm and looking at him sensually, but he, uncomfortable, resists and tries to avoid contact. Anna continues her advances, thinking that he likes her too. After finishing eating, they walk arm in arm down the street. At the time of the farewell, Anna tries to kiss Aris, but he backs off and does not accept the kiss. Aris explains that it's not that he doesn't like her, but that he likes men. Anna, embarrassed by the situation, quickly leaves in a car. A few days later, Aris decides to visit Richard at his apartment to try to remedy the whole mess. But when she rings the doorbell, the one who opens it is a stranger who claims to be the new tenant and informs Aris that Richard moved in a couple of months ago. At the same time, Richard and Anna reconnect and rebuild their relationship slowly. Richard seems to be a loving husband and caring father again. A little later, Anna, almost completely recovered, visits Aris in the hospital. She apologizes to Aris for the misunderstanding that happened the day they went to a restaurant. Aris tells her not to worry. Anna immediately informs Aris that she will give her marriage to Richard another chance. This upsets Aris, and she cries after waiting for Anna to leave. Conflicted, Aris goes to Anna's house determined to talk to them about the whole situation, but he changes his mind at the last minute. Time passes, and the routine returns to normal. Anna can return to her job at the agency. Richard moves back into the house with Anna and May, and Aris continues working at the hospital and in his acting classes. The original couples are also re-established as Anna and Richard are together again, and so are Aris and Late. Much later, Aris walks through an airport terminal. He happens to meet Richard. They greet each other and start talking. Aris asks Richard for an explanation for disappearing without saying anything and confronts him about his actions with Anna. Richard excuses himself with a justification that he is not gay and tells him that what happened is in the past. Aris insults him, upset by the way Richard is handling the situation. Richard apologizes, not knowing what else to do. Aris, very angry, tells him that he loved him and confesses that he was the one who helped Anna with her recovery. At that very moment, Anna arrives with her daughter. Without Anna knowing the full background of the situation, the three of them talk normally, pretending as if nothing is happening and that everything is fine. They discuss Anna's condition, and Aris says he will visit Budapest with a friend. Anna asks them if they know each other. They lie, saying that they met at the hospital. They say goodbye on good terms. But at the last minute, Aris calls Anna and, in a low voice, tells her that there is something he needs to tell her.